Dr. Kiki Ramsey Show. I'm so excited to see y'all. And on today's show, honey, we're going to be getting all the way to into it because the question on the table is what would happen if you it would should be easy? What would happen if you stop thinking it should be easy? Now, I want to preface that with a quick story, but I will do that right after this. All right, so recently I have been having a lot of coaching sessions because things have gotten really hard. They've gotten hard for a lot of us. They were hard for me. They are hard for me. And I understand that although things can be hard, things are not impossible. But the real reason why I wanted to do this is because I've been talking to a lot of my clients and I see that this statement, this thought process, this mindset that they have is keeping them stuck. And I will say from first hand knowledge, this was the one thing that was keeping me stuck as well in my life, not being able to move forward because I always thought that it should be easy. Like, I mean, for real. Because here's the thought process behind that. We all work very, very hard. I know you do. I've worked hard. It's just been one of those things that we do. If you're out here, you get up every day, you go to work, you may be a parent, and so you're taking care of the kids, you're grinding, all of these things, and it when it's hard, you're like, I don't understand because it shouldn't be hard. It shouldn't be hard because I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. It shouldn't be hard because I've paid my dues. It shouldn't be hard. You fill in the blank, right? And I was always thinking that because I've went through so much in my life, I've gone through so much trauma, I've gone through so many things that clearly it shouldn't be hard. I never understood. I never understood that, right? And so I was going through my PhD program and man, it was so hard. And even before that, I had to get this message, but during that process, I had to really get this message or else I wasn't going to make it through because I definitely thought that I've gone through so many things. Why is it hard? And I got the message of why not? Why is it supposed to be easy? And that's the question that I'm asking you. Who said that it was going to be easy? Because the truth is, nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's coming to save you. And I know that that's a hard pill to swallow. And I know that we want it to magically be easier, but it's just not going to be that way for the most part. And if you prepare for it to not be easy, if you get that thought process out of your head, you're going to be absolutely better. And so I know that you've probably thought to yourself, you know, this shouldn't be this hard. And I get it. And so when I was in my PhD, right, I had my daughter, Mackenzie. She was about 1.5 years old. And then I found out that I was pregnant with my son, Walter. I mean, talk about, facing a difficult time. And I wanted to finish my PhD because I had life that I needed to get back to. I had a business that I needed to get back to. I had, a spouse, I wanted to be the best wife. And I also wanted to be the best mother to my kids. And so there was all these things that I wanted to get back to. And I'm like, you know what? this is real hard. I mean, at this point in my life, I done been through a whole bunch. I done, graduated with 2 master's degrees. Just everything. And I'm like, it shouldn't be this hard. But guess what? It was that hard. And it was going to continue to be hard for a couple of more years. And if I did not get out of my own way with my thinking and my mindset, I wasn't going to make it through. And what's interesting about this topic is that I know a lot of you think that mindset topics and all this stuff is, frou frou, and it doesn't work and it doesn't get you to where you want to be. But that's just not the truth, right? It's not the truth. The truth is, you can have all the steps in the world, you can have all the steps, but if you don't have the mindset that is going to help you get there, you will stay stuck. That's the God's honest truth. You will not move forward. And I get it. I understand it. This is not one of those frou-frou topics. This is a topic that truly does matter, and it makes all the difference in the world. And so I want you to set an intention. I want you to set an intention as we move forward in this session today, that today you want to create some change in your life, and you want to stop thinking that hard is going to be impossible and that's going to hold you back, because it's not. Hard is going to be the thing that builds you. So, how are we going to do this? I want you to reframe your relationship with hard. And what's interesting, I was just in a coaching session yesterday with one of my students, and one of the things she came to the table with was that she has so many things on her plate. She has to do her schoolwork. She has children that she's trying to take care of. She has to work to make money, to put food on the table and all of these things, and just deal with all the rest of life stuff. And I said, I get it. It's hard. And she was like, yes. And I don't think it should be. And I'm like, yeah, no. That's the very thing that's holding you back from actually being able to move forward, is your thought processes around the word hard. We're going to have to reframe what hard means. Hard does not mean impossible. It means growth is happening. Come on, Dr. Kiki. Hard doesn't mean impossible. All it means is that you are growing. You are moving. You are spreading your wings, like you are literally growing. And if you're not growing, then you're dying. And so if things are not hard, if life is just super easy, you have to ask yourself, am I growing? Are things happening in my life that I am challenging myself, and then I'm moving out of my own way and I'm growing? So here's something that I want you to think about. A lot of times, what we think is that hard equals bad or hard equals wrong, right? Like a lot of times when we think about hard, we think that that equals that, oh, if it's hard, that must be a bad thing. Or if it's hard, that must be wrong. I'm doing something wrong if this is hard. And that couldn't be further from the truth, because the truth is hard is neutral, right? It's just different. It's challenging. It's new. It doesn't mean that it's wrong or that it's bad. And so we have to stop simulating hard with bad. Everything that's hard ain't bad. I mean, I know that for me, when something is hard, I now, because I wasn't always this way, honey. I always used to think that things should be easy. Like I literally thought that it should be easy. I always was used to relate it with bad, because sometimes it seemed like when things were hard, bad things happened. But when things are hard, although it may seem like it's bad, it's making you grow, right? It's making you grow. I can remember growing up, and a lot of you know that, my beautiful mother, I love her to death. I miss her so much, Lucy. She had an addiction, and life was very hard. back in the day. And a lot of times I simulated that with being bad or being wrong. And I'm not saying what she did wasn't wrong, or wasn't bad at the time. But what I didn't realize was that the life that I ultimately lived back then set me up for the life that I can live right now. And it set me up to be able to teach others how to be more resilient in their life. And I wouldn't trade it for anything. Like, it was my life, it was given to me. I used to wish that that wasn't my life. I used to wish that that wasn't my story. I wished I could, change all the things. But I realized in my adult age, if I did that, then the life that I have right now would not be in existence. And I can't imagine living, can't imagine not living the life that I live right now. I mean, I live an amazing, beautiful life. I have three amazing children. I have a grandbaby. I have a fantastic husband. I have a career that I've been able to make a difference in people's lives, and it's made a difference in my own life. I can't imagine not having this story that I can tell to share, to shed light and to give others resilience, or to ensue resilience upon other people. I can't imagine. So we have to stop relating the word hard with bad. And a lot of my students would ask me, what would what advice would you give me right now? Or, yeah, what advice would you give me right now? And I say, do the hard things now. You've probably all heard me say that before, because it's one of my Dr. Kikiisms. Do the hard things now. Because when you decide to try to take the easy route, then I think your path goes like this. All right. But when you take the hard route now, I think your path is more like this. And then you get to your destination. Because what we try to do is skip steps. And there are no skipping steps. Now, nobody said how long you have to be on each step, but you can't skip steps. And when you try to, then, because what finding an easier route is we're trying to skip steps. And when you skip steps, then inevitably you're going to have to go back and learn the lessons that you needed to learn on the step that you skipped. I am talking to somebody right now. Right? I am talking to you right now. When you try to take the easy route, that means you're skipping steps. And inevitably, you're going to have to go back and figure out what you did not learn on the step that you tried to skip, because you can't skip steps. You can't skip them. And hard don't mean bad. And hard don't mean wrong. Hard just means challenging. Hard means it's different. Hard means that it's new. And that's okay. So I want you to shift your language from this is too hard to this is stretching me. Woo! This is stretching me. This is stretching me. And so one of my personal mantras, and or you can call it a Dr. Kikiism, that I live by when it comes to hard, is I can do hard things for a period of time. I can do hard things for a period of time. What do I mean by that? And trust me, these are this mantra, or this Dr. Kiki is something that I had to formulate to get me out of my mindset that things had to be easy. Because what thinking things need to be easy does to you is it makes you not try as hard as you can. It doesn't allow you to get out of your own mind about the truth of what lies in front of you, right? And so when I used to think things should be easy, I did not put forth the effort to overcome the challenge, because I'm thinking that the world owes me something. What? The world owes me something. Now, as much as I want the world to owe me something, It does not. Nobody ever said that your life was going to be good, amazing, great, all the time, right? And with that being said, I had to get it in my mind that because I've gone through so many challenges and trials and tribulations and trauma, the world still don't owe me nothing. I am going to have to fight for everything that I get. And so I had to come up with this mantra or this, Dr. Kikiism to help me overcome the fact that I thought that it should be easier because I didn't want to stay stuck anymore. I needed to overcome so that I could keep pushing forward. And some of you do too. Some of you need to need a little kick in the booty, right? To show you that yeah, it's hard and you still need to do what you need to do. Okay, so this is me, your coach, Dr. Kiki Ramsey, telling you, yes, it's hard, but you still need to do what you need to do, right? And trust me, I'm empathetic because I am that person. And I know that some things are so hard beyond our own doing and beyond some steps that we can take for ourselves. I understand that. But that's not all the situations. That's not all of them. So my mantra is that I can do hard things for a period of time. And what that means is that hard don't last forever. It doesn't last forever. And it won't last forever for you either. For me, hard may last for a year, 2 years, 3 weeks, 6 months, whatever. Hard can be whatever period of time that you have it. So when I was in getting my PhD, I knew that my PhD was going to take me about 3 to 4 years to finish. So I got it in my mind that hard it was going to be for the next 4 years. Now, let me just say this, right? Because I'm having this conversation with you, and it doesn't mean that I still didn't cry. I still didn't curse. I still didn't, feel like I wanted to give up. I still wanted to quit. All those things I wanted to do, even though it was hard. And even though I accepted the fact that it's hard. Just because you accept the fact that it's going to be hard doesn't mean that you don't still have all the emotions that surround the word hard. You still will have those emotions, and it's okay. I can remember being in my PhD program, and baby, I felt like I was crying every day. Like I was crying because the dissertation is hard. I was crying because I found out that I had to take an additional class in school that I didn't think I was going to have to take. I was crying because I felt like I wasn't spending time with my family. I was crying because I was tired. I was tired, tired, tired. I was over it. I cried. I felt like I cried the whole time in my chair. Ann Ramos, hey Ann, love you so much. She heard me cry all the time. Like, and my husband and my kids watched me cry. And guess what? I still accepted the fact that it was going to be hard because that's the only way I got through that dissertation and ultimately got my degree and became Dr. Kiki Ramsey is because I knew it was going to be hard. I accepted that it was going to be hard, but I was still going through the motions. You'll still go through the motions. You can still do hard things for a period of time. I knew that on the other side of my PhD was me being able to get back to my family, get back to my babies, get back to my business, right? Because I was still an entrepreneur and running this business, but I couldn't do it full steam ahead. And so some of you might have to pull back some things while you are focusing on the main thing that you need to focus on during this hard period in your life. And so I want to encourage you to see that difficulty is just a season. It's not always, right? It's a season that you may go through. It's a period of time, and there's an ending. Now, I'm not saying that you see the end in sight because you might not see the end in sight. And I know that sometimes when we have health challenges, you may not see the end in sight, but I think that when it comes to health challenges, because I do know that that's one of the one of people's issues that we're having, you might not know that there's an end in sight for you. But my hope is that when you're going through this difficult period, you can envision an end in sight for yourself. And I think that'll help you get through the hard days that you're going through. I don't want you to give up, because if you give up, then all of this is null and void, right? But if you look at yourself and say, "Hey, I may be going through this health challenge, but I can envision a time where this is over, this is done," then that's the thing that's going to ultimately get you through. So, one of the things I want you to do in terms of an action step is that I want you to write down something you've been avoiding because it feels too hard. A lot of us have things that we want to do because it feels too hard. And then I want you to reframe that. I need you to reframe that with, this is growing me in ways I can't even see yet, right? This is growing me in ways I can't even see yet. The truth is, a lot of us procrastinate on doing certain things in our lives because it is hard, or because we perceive it's going to be hard. The perception of hard, or the thought that something's going to be hard, is the root of procrastination. We procrastinate because we think that doing the thing is going to be hard. Doing the thing is going to cause us pain and suffering. So that's the reason why we actually procrastinate. When all actuality is, it might cause some pain and suffering, but the procrastination also causes pain and suffering, because if you're anything like me, you are perseverating over the thing that you need to get done. So I'm worrying about the thing that I need to get done. Whereas if I just got it done, it'd be done. And that pain is less to me than the worry. But we don't think about it like that, right? We just procrastinate because, oh Lord, we just don't want to do the thing. And then it causes us all this pain and suffering and worrying. So I want you to just reframe what it is that you know that you're supposed to be doing, that you feel is hard. Just reframe it and tell yourself that this thing is growing you in ways that you cannot even see yet. And then you might be able to see it, but you still procrastinate. But just really tell yourself that this thing is growing you, and it's going to grow you, right? So the real message here is, when you reframe hard, it grows your resilience, and it grows your grit. And so the real message here is that resilience is built in doing, not in thinking about doing. Okay. Resilience. What does that mean? Your ability to bounce back from a setback or from something that's really, really hard, right? I know you're resilient. I know you are. And you have the ability to bounce back from things that are hard, right? And that's what true resilience is. And but the truth about resilience is, it's built when you do the thing, when you make the ask, when you go back to school, when you find another job, when you start the side hustle, all of those things, when you start writing the book, when you finish the book, all these things, that's where resilience is built, during those times where things are hard, but you do it anyway. Grit. What's grit? I love grit, because I don't think enough of us understand about grit, but grit is that passion plus your perseverance. Grit comes from Angela Duckworth. This is a concept that she kind of coined, and it ties very closely to positive psychology, which y'all know I'm your resident positive psychologist, and executive career coach. And so, grit is that, where when you have that passion, plus you decide to persevere. You decide to put both of those things forward. I had a passion for really going back to school to get my PhD in positive psychology coaching and business psychology, and really being able to come out to teach you how to overcome these issues in your life and be happier and build on your career. So that is something that you want. You want to practice grit. You don't wake up with resilience. You become resilient by facing the hard things repeatedly and learning from them. Right? You don't have to be born with resilience. Even though I really do feel that most of us are born super courageous, right? As kids, child, we fearless as kids. We have a lot of resilience. We fall down, we get back up. I mean, you had to learn how to walk as a child. You had to learn how to talk. You had to learn how to read. All these things you had to actually learn how to do. And you did it as a child and you kept on going. You didn't stop and say, nope, I don't want to walk. Walking, that thing hard. I'm not going to do that. Like we didn't do that. We fell down, we scraped our knees, we got back up. Even with riding a bike, we would fall off a bike. I know that my daughter is much better now riding her bike, but she would fall off and then she would get so upset. But inevitably, she got back on that bike and started riding. My son fall off. I remember us taking him to a obstacle course, and he couldn't get his bike up one of the hills, and he kept on trying, and he would get so upset and throw his bike down and pout. And I'm like, buddy, I know it's hard, but in order for you to overcome, you're gonna have to get back on your bike. And so he get back on his bike, and finally I remember him getting through the obstacle course, and he was so happy, so proud of himself. He didn't give up. And so, as children, we learn how to be resilient and gritty. But somewhere along the line, as adults, we start thinking that it should be easier and we stop getting gritty and we stop getting resilient. It's time for us to get back in the ring and get gritty. So, I want for you to really think about, what is your grit? What are you passionate about enough to persevere on? What are you passionate about enough to press forward on? All this, quarter, we've been talking about reaching goals and really moving forward with our goals and stuff like that. So here, when it comes to grit, I really want you to just look at what your goal is, break down that goal into manageable pieces, and then start knocking them off, start crossing them off in terms of manageable pieces. And so when it comes to what you need to move forward in this mindset, I need you to understand that life is hard, but life can also be amazing. Although for me, and I understand, and I want to talk to you all right now from a standpoint of what's going on in our country. There is a lot going on right now with our government, and people are out of work, benefits are getting cut, jobs, layoffs. There's a whole bunch of things that are going on. So I'm not having this conversation with you in lieu of all those things that are happening in our country and in our world. You may be affected in a way that is much more than your neighbor or your friend or your colleague or whatnot, right? I'm talking to you from a place of love because I know that things and external things are always going to be happening around us. You're always going to have something going on. Is it going to be this hard? No. Will it be easier? Yes. But I had to realize that despite all these things that go on in our world and in our country, and that are going on in our world and our country, I need to put my best foot forward. I need to figure out what I can do to be able to move myself forward. Because when we're relying on other people to do for us, it gets very, very difficult. And I understand it. And I'm empathetic because I too am affected by all the things that are going on right now. But I choose. And that is the operative word, right? Create your own happiness, choose, choice. I choose to be happy. I choose to be well, meaning uh, find the wellness activities that are going to help me. And I choose to overcome hard because I have to. I know that nobody's coming to save me. And if you can get this mindset, especially while things are this hard, you're going to be okay. And that is why I wanted to have this class today on the Dr. Kiki Ramsey Show because I know that so many of us are going through it. And I want you to know that you are in control of your own destiny and your fate. Of course, I believe in God. So, ultimately, He's in control. But here, right now, you have control. And if you know that you have control and that things are going to be hard, but you can overcome them because you can be gritty and you can be resilient, then that's going to take you very, very far. All right, y'all. I love you. I appreciate you. If this message resonated with you, please share it. Go ahead and if you're on YouTube, subscribe to this channel, share the channel, and then share this message because somebody else needs to hear that you can do hard things for a period of time. And hard doesn't mean wrong and it doesn't equal bad. It just equals challenging and it equals new. You got this. You can do it. If you want a community, join us in the Thrive Society. You can go to kikiramsey.com and click on Thrive Society and then join us over there. And then you can also join the official challenge, the 90-day career challenge right now, the career sprint that we're having going on to the end of this year. If you really want to jump in and reach some goals before the end of the year. All right. Love you. Go out there, create your own happiness. All right. Peace.